I'd like to call this meeting for June 3rd to order. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Carol Wolford.
Here.
Holly Levine. Here. Jim Shanks.
Here.
Walt Hayes.
Here.
David Pyle.
Here.
Bob McAfee.
Here.
Anita Francis.
Here.
Roger Spencer.
Here. You all stand with me and join in the Pledge of Allegiance, then we'll have an invocation after that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gracious God, as we come to you this day to begin another session of the Carl Junction Board of Alderman, we ask that you input upon us your wisdom and guidance so that we may promote justice, assist those in need, and provide for the overall well-being of the citizens of Carl Junction. Amen.
Number 3 is approval of the agenda.
Make a motion we approve the agenda as typed.
Second.
Motion to approve the agenda by Roger Spencer, second by Walter Hayes. This is a hand vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Looks like 8 in the affirmative. Number 4, consent agenda. Any questions or comments or changes?
Would it be possible to defer a disbursement? I'm wondering if we can defer the disbursement to Nelson Enterprises until we can review the work that's been done at Country Club Park.
Remove it from the disbursement sheet.
Okay, I'd like to motion we remove the disbursement from Nelson Enterprises until we can review that work.
Second.
Motion to change the disbursements and strike Nelson Enterprises. Motion by Holly Levine, second by Dr. Pyle. All those in favor of changing the disbursements? Please raise your right hand. 8 in affirmative. Now we'll go back. Consent agenda with the changes. I need a motion to approve that.
One other item, and Elena has already caught this, but I still see it on the copy that I have. I believe it's approval of the minutes of the meeting on 5/20/2025. Is that correct?
Yeah, I amended the agenda on Friday, but
The one that's posted is amended.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, I didn't get the, all I had was this one here.
it was in the email.
Well, this was what was on my desk. I'm sorry.
Motion to approve the consent agenda with the change to disbursements.
Second.
Motion by Holly Levine to change the consent agenda with striking in the disbursements, second by Roger Spencer. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Number 5 is public forum. Anyone wishing to speak, come forward to the podium. Second call. Anyone wishing to speak during public forum?
Move on.
If not, we'll move on. Number 6A, ordinance approving an engagement letter with Luber Municipal Law for Special Counsel for General Municipal League Service, Legal Services.
Make a motion we put this on reading by title only.
Second.
Motion to put this ordinance on reading by title only by Roger Spencer, second by Holly Levine. Will the clerk read the title, please?
An ordinance approving an engagement letter between the City of Carl Junction, Missouri and Lauber Municipal Law to provide special counsel, general municipal legal services to the City of Carl Junction, Missouri at a rate generally of $240 per hour plus reimbursable expenses and as otherwise provided in the engagement letter, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said engagement letter for and on behalf of the City of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any questions? Any comments?
May I, Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Tower.
There are a number of questions that require direction, and at the last council meeting, I explained what I considered my impossibly conflicted position as counsel to the city, and the mayor, Steve, other officers in the city. I recommended that we retain counsel, special counsel, to deal with those issues. There are a number of ancillary issues that are related to that main question that deserve and require special guidance, legal guidance. The Lauber Municipal Law Firm is statewide. It's recognized as expert in some of these questions. I think it's in the city's interest to get expert advice on many of these very, very difficult questions on how to handle issues that are basically related, generally related to the controversy that we were discussing at the last board meeting. This engagement letter is not limited to one specific question. It is to provide counsel as needed to the city of Carl Junction. And I know Steve has questions. Elena has questions, open records questions. Their expert guidance will be helpful. They have the most qualified experts in their organization and at their disposal. It's a lot of money per hour for these folks. But because of the difficulty the city is in right now, I believe it is money well spent. And this will allow Steve to ask a broad range of questions that he feels necessarily must be asked and get the best guidance that any community can have in this state. So, this law firm is apparently not here. I didn't ask them to appear. I think we need this special counsel. So that's all I have.
I have one question down here toward the bottom of the agreement. It states for economic development matters. Is that the other part that you're talking about, Mr. Talley?
No. That was a totally unsolicited aspect of their engagement letter. I know nothing about the economic development. If the board wants to spend that additional sum, what is it, $300 an hour?
$320 an hour.
$320 an hour. That's up to the board. I will not be asking any of those questions. I don't know whether the city administrator has any economic development questions.
Well, I just noticed it on the.
I think this was a form letter.
Okay.
It included
Okay.
that because they are a statewide organization. They do advise on economic development, but that's not why I'm recommending it.
Okay. Well, like I said, I just caught that and went from $240 an hour to $320 an hour. And my question is, a lot of money going to be spent, looks like. Any other questions?
Make a motion to put it on second reading by title only?
Second.
Motion to put it on second reading by title only by Walter Hayes, second by Roger Spencer. Will the clerk read the title for the second time?
An ordinance approving an engagement letter between the city of Carl Junction, Missouri and Lauber Municipal Law to provide special counsel, general municipal legal services to the city of Carl Junction, Missouri at a rate generally of $240 per hour plus reimbursable expenses and as otherwise provided in the engagement letter, providing the terms and conditions thereof, and authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute said engagement letter for and on behalf of the city of Carl Junction, Missouri.
Any other questions, council of the?
I have a question. So we're paying these guys, I understand, but the mayor has a council too. Are we paying them too?
That's a question that hasn't been asked. I haven't researched it. That may be a question that Lauber Law has to weigh in on. I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either.
I mean, it's a question that has occurred to me as well, but I don't know the answer, and I'm not going to guess at an answer.
Thank you. Anything else?
Mr. Talley, where would this engagement letter leave you in the process moving forward?
You weren't here at the last board meeting.
Correct, correct.
I
read the minute.
So long as I can, I intend to stay privy to council. And but I'm reluctant to give advice on the questions, on the many questions that are related to this. And there are many questions. Just because any advice I give, I think, opens the city up, it taints the city's position, because I have loyalties and obligations to the mayor, as well as to other officers of the city and the board. And I think it wise that I not offer my opinion. However, I do intend to remain apprised of what is happening and the opinions. And of course, if I see something that I believe is grossly inappropriate, I will tell somebody.
David, one of the things that I've done over the years with Mr. Talley is anytime we've had other council involved in some type of an action, I've always tried to include Mr. Talley in the conversations so that he is kept up to date of what's going on. And this would be no different.
Is there a sense of what access the council as a whole would have to opinions that are rendered, or the timeline that would be involved, or do we just not know?
Lobber Law was consulted on an open records question. They have not been consulted on the multiple questions that have arisen other than open records. They felt like they couldn't offer any guidance until the engagement letter is signed. So I don't know. If they haven't been asked, so far as I know, they haven't been asked or given that guidance, because it's beyond their, I don't know, is the Lobber, is that pro bono by?
No, it's the questions that I had asked were through MIRMA. MIRMA has a email contact form they call HR1. Lobber Municipal is on the other end of that, and members of MIRMA are able to ask them questions when it comes to HR matters, and they will respond directly back to us. What that does for us is it takes the deductible and cuts it in half when we do that process, when we use them for HR questions, because it gets logged in both MIRMA and Lobber Municipal. So anytime we've had questions dealing with HR, I do that, because it takes, and I don't know the specific number, but it takes the deductible from like 10,000 to 5,000, something like that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So we still have no sort of timeline of when there may be a hearing or any sort of resolution?
I think that's what we're gonna bring Lobber Law in and start working on figuring out what needs to be done.
Make a motion, we put this on final passage.
Second.
Motion to put this on final passage by Roger Spencer, second by Walter Hayes. This is a hand vote to go, we would have went to electronic vote, but we will go do a roll call. All those in favor going to a roll call vote, please signify by raising your right hand. 8 in the affirmative. Well, now I need a motion to do the roll call vote.
Make a motion, we do a roll call
Second.
vote.
Motion by Roger Spencer for the roll call vote, since our electronic is down. Second by Walter Hayes. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Anita Francis,
Yes.
Holly Levine,
Yes.
Bob McAfee,
Yes.
Roger Spencer.
Yes.
David Pyle,
Yes.
Walter Hayes,
Yes.
Carol Wolford,
Yes.
Jim Shanks.
Yes.
Ordinance number
2516.
25 what?
16.
Number 6 is administration reports. First report should be from the city administrator. Any comments or questions?
I do have the bids that came in for the tornado repairs. I'll have that information for you at the next meeting. We still have out there the question of what you want to do with the solar arrays. I kind of need guidance on that from you, whether you want to discontinue them, take them out, we take replacement, we take the panels that are still good, any equipment's still good, we take it down and we repair panels down at Public Works, so those two systems work just fine. And then everything else is hauled off. If that's what you want to do, or if you want to totally repair it and put everything back up to snuff.
Are they worth fixing for the value we get from them?
Not in my opinion. We've never been able to prove that there's been a savings. The only one that we've been able to prove that with is the Public Works building itself in the office, because it's a small enough user that we can see it on that one. Everything else, we use way too much electric to make them effective for the size that we have.
Are you wanting guidance right now?
Yes, please.
I mean, I would say scrap them. I don't think they've ever
If I
been
can get
beneficial to the city, in my opinion.
consensus on that? Okay. I'll get that number included into the bids and get that to you at the next meeting.
One thing kind of related to that, can we put some sort of braces or something on those little memorial trees out there that got damaged in the tornado? The two little memorial trees right over there.
That's the VFW down here.
The Legion trees
Legion
are down
trees.
there?
Yeah.
Are those the legions?
Yes.
Yeah, those are the Legions.
That's on Legion property too.
Yeah,
Well,
I can ask them about it.
okay, I don't think it would take much, they're just kind of,
Yeah.
just need some bungees or something to strap them up. And, the signs too, if you're at it. And then, so, will there be bids, like, to repair the little storage building over here, like how the metal's messed up on the
Yes.
side?
Yep, that's all included in the bids.
Okay. Can you talk about the technology, please?
I am waiting on Mid Central to update the quotes that they gave us several months ago for two reasons. One, they needed updated because we have things that continually break. The other is that we're tying it into that grant that's in the process of being written too. So we have to have both of those. So as soon as I get those in, I'll get them to you.
Okay, and then what's the timeline on the grant?
Everything has to be in by, I want to say the 26th of July. To be reviewed.
Do you have everything you need for that?
I believe so. It's coming together pretty quick.
Go ahead,
I
Bob.
would like to comment on the system follow-up down here. The mosquito fogging, the chemicals, what it costs. It shows that BYAA is contacted with Mosquito Joe's to help down there at the ball field.
Well, let's start back at the beginning. Okay, so, Becky came in last week to talk about the mosquitoes. So I think, so our fogger that we had was unrepairable, the one that we got rid of. So Steve got some bids for a new fogger.
and it's pretty expensive. 13,000 for a new fogger. Chemicals are over 5,500. Since that, the BYA has contracted with Mosquito Joe's for treatment of the fields, and then we gave them some chemicals, or what did we do?
Yeah, it was Mandy with BYAA found them for me and requested them. It's a module and you put water in it and you hang it out, and then it emits something that's a mosquito repellent, and you put them in different places. They do an area of so many square feet. So she was gonna put them throughout the ball field complex, just to help on top of what they were gonna do for Mosquito Joe's. And so that was this year's fix.
And then any idea like what sort of chemicals this company uses?
Mosquito Joe's?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Along that line, have you contacted this lady and let her know what we're working on?
Not yet. It was brought to you guys first before I get a hold of her. You guys want me to get a hold of her? I sure will.
I think she needs to have a follow-up and at least know that we are concerned, that we just haven't fluffed her off.
Yep.
Anything else on the administration report?
This isn't on there, but are you gonna talk about this public service commission thing?
Did this come to you?
Yeah, we just got it in the mail today.
I have not seen it either.
Okay, I just wanna let the people know, so everybody knows that Optic, I'm sorry, I apologize. Liberty has requested the rate increases, and they've had the issues with the billing. We're gonna have a public forum in Joplin on June 12th at 6 p.m. It's gonna be at MSSU. I would encourage anybody who's had issues with their bill, anybody who has comments about the rate increases to attend that public forum.
It's going to be at according to this, at the criminology building. Yep. So used to, they had it over at Webster Hall in the Corley Auditorium, but this is going to be over the Criminal Justice Auditorium at 6 p.m., June 12th. Thank you, Holly. Anything else?
Yeah, I
Yes,
have
Carol.
a question on the mosquito machine, the fogging machine. Are we going to the expense of buying one for $13,000 to use
Yes.
2 or 3 times a year?
You guys have not authorized it, so I'm not going to.
That just seems kind of pricey to me. Because the
Very-
chemicals, like you said, you can't use strong chemicals anymore, so you're
Not,
spraying water basically.
not since they got rid of DDT, so, which was only truly effective mosquito repellent. So,
Anything else? I'm sorry, I'd like to move it along because we have got a storm coming this direction, and our city attorney said he would like to be back in Joplin for his. Well, I don't blame him.
Yeah, he's got 35 minutes.
Treasurer's report. I have that report in front of me. I assume the rest of the council does.
This is the annual report that Holly brought up. I think it was a couple of months ago. So Mary Beth put this together. If you have any questions, feel free to get them to me and I will be happy to get an answer and get it back to you.
So these ending balances are true, is what it's stating.
Mary Beth does that to show that the math works. That's what the true means, that the math works out. It means that the numbers are correct.
So we got $1.8 million in sales tax fund,
Yes,
and we got
as of when she did this, yes.
$292,000 in the capital improvement fund.
As of when she did this, yes.
Okay. I just think that the public needs to know what money we're holding in reserves.
This is available for anybody that would like to do a public records request. I will be happy to give it to them.
Anybody else have any questions or comments on the treasurer's report? Moving on, the next one is the police department report. Anybody have any comments for the chief?
Yes, I had requested the chief to look into maybe doing one of the little fingerprint clinics with the kids.
So we got an estimate here. So it looks like if we did want to do that, it's a little pricey. Our cost to get all the materials from this particular company that Web City uses for theirs would be a little over $400, and that would be for 250 of the fingerprint kits, and then it comes with like a little, like a cardboard thing that you fill out all the information about your child on. So I don't know, what did you think about that, sir?
It's good public relations, obviously. And it's actually a kit that the parents can actually take with them. Years ago when they do the child identification kits, we'd have to take a fingerprint pad with us and fingerprinting kit, which takes quite a long time. In these kits, they actually have a little fingerprint tool, and parents can do it at home. They can attach their photographs and keep it in a safe place.
What do you feel about the expense?
Really, I don't think it's exorbitant amount. I mean, it depends on, and I don't know how many Web City actually handed out during the farmer's market. I haven't seen developers since then. But it's also one of them things that we, not only farmer's market handing them out, but we can have them in storage at PD if parents want to come by and get them. So again, it's a PR thing, and it's not a bad thing. It's just a matter of if you want to do the expense of it.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's discuss that more, because even if we don't do the kids, I'd love to do just like some sort of meet and greet with the kids, just, get you guys out there more and get the kids comfortable, and,
Right.
Maybe we would have less issues with the kids if they're more familiar with you guys.
If you choose not to do that, can a business sponsor that?
Oh, that would be
expense?
amazing.
I
We
would
would
be
love
more than
that.
happy to sponsor that.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you, Shane.
Anyone else have a question of the chief? Or chief, do you have something to add to it that's not on the report?
No, well, I did, of course, the carnival happened over the weekend. There was some issues at the very beginning with setting it up and everything, but overall, the weekend, checked the CAD system and with officers, we did not have any calls for service at the carnival. Didn't have any complaints of noise or trespassing or anything, so that's a plus in that area.
Thank you, chief. Anybody else have a comment or anything? We'll move on. Public Works report. Anybody have any comments of that? Harvey, I see you're here from the Public Works. Do you have anything to add to the report, or have you seen the report?
I wrote the report.
Okay. Okay. That's great.
Not at this time, sir.
Thank you. Council? Oh, there's the ring.
Make it.
Department reports. We just went through that. Committee reports. Let's see, I had them. Budget and Finance, Walter, Chair, any report from you?
Just real quickly, I came by today for a few minutes and chatted with Elena about perhaps sometime next month getting the budget committee together and just kind of do a review of the last quarter, get everybody familiar with what all goes on. And instead of waiting till January and all of a sudden, we have to do something. Right. So we'll set that up for sometime next month.
Okay, thank you, Walter. Code Nuisance, Carol Wolford, Chair.
I don't have anything to report.
Human Resources, Roger Spencer, Chair. Nothing at this time, sir. Public Facilities and Planning, Dr. Pyle, Chair.
The only thing that I would ask, and Holly mentioned this with disbursements, if we could get eyes on at Country Club, verify if the work's been done and if so correctly. Thank you.
Economic Development, Holly Levine, Chair.
Yes, Steve and I had a meeting this morning with Retail Strategies to go over our property that's in the works. We've got about 30 to 45 days to close on that property. We're waiting to get a survey right now, but everything is going in the right direction.
we got some good feedback from Retail Strategies, a couple ideas that we're gonna look into. That's all I've got right now.
Number 8, unfinished business. Anita, I'm gonna start with you. Any unfinished old business? Holly, any unfinished old business?
No, I don't believe so.
Bob?
No, sir.
Roger?
No.
I have none. This noise, my hearing aids are going crazy. Sorry, people. Dr. Pyle, any?
No, sir.
I just wanted to ask, I was in Austin, Texas for business for the last meetings I had to miss. I was watching the stream. I'm just curious where we were with Mid Central, trying to get a new camera in here or something. I mean, I couldn't even read the agenda. It's really not good.
You're right. Yeah, that's part of the bid that they're updating that going on.
Okay.
Where is this?
Thanks.
Thank you, Walter. Carol, any unfinished old business?
No,
James, any unfinished old business?
No, sir.
Mr. Talley?
On what Walter was saying, you know, I talked a lot at the last meeting. My son and grandson in Utah quoted me back. They watched it, or they listened to it online. And my words came back at me from them. So it does get out there.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
The audio, thanks to whoever got it turned on, it was a little late working. I think by the time the audio started working, it was about public forum.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Elena, any unfinished old business?
Just a question on the disbursement that you pulled tonight. Once someone verifies the work, do you want me to go ahead and release that check, or do you want me to hold that until the next council meeting and you won't?
Holly, you brought the question up.
I mean, I would say if the consent of the council, but,
Okay.
Anything else, Elena? Crystal, any unfinished old business?
No, sir.
Steve, any unfinished old business?
No, sir.
Chief?
No.
Harvey?
No, sir.
Moving on, new business. James?
I do have one item, and I suppose it's not gonna stop raining until at least 9:30, so I'll try not to make it that long, Mr. Talley. This is something I just, for no other reason, I wanted on the record. You know, I know we've got this issue going on in the city. It's no fun for anybody. I wanna make a point to say that it's pretty easy to complain about almost anything in the world. But I will say, in my experience, it's very hard. I would even call it gut-wrenching. I would call it miserable to actually come out and file paperwork and turn it in. It's very hard for people to do. Very hard. So I want to acknowledge that. I know it's difficult for people to do. And we have now contracted with the special counsel. After that, I think there's a misconception on what we do going forward. I'm not an attorney. Let's throw that out there. It's surprising to me if the mayor's council hasn't already advised him, but for me, to use Mr. Talley's words, I like the word tank. I believe any interactions that are had between the mayor and anybody who has filed one of these complaints against him would take one side or the other's situation. Matter of fact, I think it could be very detrimental for the mayor's case, depending on the situation. But my responsibility is to the city, and I do think it opens up really exponential liability. You just don't know what's going to happen. And it could be something as simple as your tone. You can say good morning to somebody, but have an inflection in your voice that they believe is retaliatory, or they believe you're trying to send them a message, or intimidate them, or whatever. You may be walking out the door and you see somebody behind you, and you're like, do I hold the door open or do I close it? I don't know which one to do because I'm in this situation. I don't love it, and I don't think it is very good. I just don't see a winner in this situation. I don't want to be, when I say next, a reflection on the mayor's performance. From what I've seen, he's done a good job. I haven't seen anything. Matter of fact, tonight I thought that was an excellent catch on the 320 an hour versus 240 an hour. I did not catch that. But I think it would be in everybody's best interest. I think it keeps things a lot simpler for the attorneys, for the city. And because of that, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the mayor from his duties pending the outcome of the investigation. With the mayor pro tem taking his duties over until such time as he can resign. Thanks.
Have a motion in place. Is this a proper motion, Mr. Talley, or is this out of order?
You just thought you were getting out of this, didn't you, Mr. Talley?
I'm gonna have, I have not encountered this kind of motion
Well,
previously.
we've got a motion on the floor if it's legal. Or proper, however you want to put it.
Well, our code deals with precedents of motions, motions to be stated by a chair, and motions out of order. But this allows the motions out of order. Presiding officer may at any time by a majority vote of the board permit a member to introduce an ordinance, resolution, or motion out of the regular order by a majority vote of the board. I don't know of any other provision in our code that would govern whether it's in or out of order. I think the board could vote to put this, to make this motion in order.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by James Shanks to suspend me. Second by Carol Wolford. Do we go to a roll call vote on this, Mr. Talley, or do we go to a hand?
I would suggest a roll call.
Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Anita Francis,
Yes.
Polly Levine,
Abstain.
Bob McAfee,
Yes.
Roger Spencer,
Yes.
David Pyle,
No.
Walter Hayes,
Yes.
Carol Wolford,
Yes.
Jim Shanks.
Yes.
Well, the motion passes. So I guess I'm suspended right now, or do I finish the meeting out?
I think, I would think that you're suspended right now.
Okay, doke.
And I must say that I have never entertained this question before. I've given you the best advice I can, but somebody could certainly have a different opinion. That's the best I know.
So Holly, it's yours.
Unfinished business, Carol?
Do what?
Any unfinished business, Carol?
No.
Walter?
Not unfinished.
Or, I'm sorry, we have you.
New business,
I'm
yes.
sorry. Carol?
No.
Okay,
I do have new business. I got an email yesterday from a gentleman asking about excessive speed on Terrell and Park Lane because of the sports complex. Says the posted speed is 20 miles an hour, which is not obeyed or enforced. And he and fellow other people in the neighborhood were asking about speed bumps to help slow the traffic and avoid the event of a child or an elderly getting hit by a driver. I responded to him that I would bring it up, but I told him that the city, that's my recollection at least, has been reluctant in the past to use speed bumps because of snow removal. the plows. And he replied to me that his parents have lived in the area since 1979, and it rarely, if ever, gets plowed. So he didn't see the problem with the speed bump, but I did tell him I would bring it up. I don't know if there's something we can do there. If nothing else, perhaps get one of our officers to be out there in the evening from time to time when we have traffic for the ball games and so forth, or something to try to get people slowed down a bit out in that area.
What area was it?
Terrell and Park Lane, about the Frank Dean. I still don't think the speed bumps is gonna work.
So they're saying people are going too fast.
Yeah,
Above
the
the
speed,
20.
yes.
So maybe we could put temporary sign out. If possible.
We can put the speed trailer down there, we do it every year, so,
Okay.
I mean, it's always a complaint, so, yeah, we can get it out there again.
Okay. Any other?
That was it, thank you.
Kara?
I just have a comment. I wanted to commend the people that did the carnival last week. Every time I was out here during the evening, it was always orderly. There was no parking problem. People were coming in and out without trying to run over each other. It looked like everybody was having a really good time, and I think it was really good for the city.
I agree. Thank you, Carol. David, any new business? Roger? For my new business, I was going to bring up the carnival. I want to thank the chamber and the city, everybody in the city, the police department, the fire department, public works, everybody who helped with the carnival. I know it was, I think most people know it was planned at Frank Dean, and then with the weather and the flooding, that was just not going to be safe, and it was just really a last minute effort to get the carnival uptown here, and it was a huge success. I think everybody I talked to had a great time. The kids were having fun, the parents were having fun, and everybody. There was no issues. There was, everything was great. Everything got cleaned up afterwards. It's just wonderful. So thanks to the chamber for that. That was on my new business. Anita? Mr. Kellogg?
Yes, Crystal just shared with me reference to a code section which is in our books. It has to do with removing elected officers, and it provides that any elected officer, including the mayor, may, for cause shown, be removed from office by a 2/3 vote of all members elected by the Board of Alderman, independently of the mayor's approval or recommendation. I don't believe that is what happened here. I believe the motion was to suspend him, not to remove him. Am I correct?
Wow.
Okay. So I appreciate the reference, but I don't think that's what we did here. I think that there is a suspension in effect. It's an irregular motion that I can't find a place for in the code. But until somebody shows me otherwise, the council is acting. That's all I have.
Elena? No. Crystal? No. Steve?
No, ma'am.
Chief? Any other business for the council this evening?
One thing, I'm gonna back up, Elena,
Yes, sir.
if you had the mayor on the signing the checks,
That won't change. I've got the paperwork. It's not all signed yet, but that's something that takes minutes, but we still have 3 signers. So we have enough to sign checks.
okay. That's it.
Any other business?
Make the motion we adjourn so Mr. Talley can get wet.
We are.
All in favor of adjourning? Thank you. We are adjourned.